Well, hey there everyone, Draxt here, and today's video will be about some changes between the English version of Sonic and the French version. So, the first thing I'm gonna do is let you hear, at least with one cutscene, how the voices sounds. I really hope this sound is loud enough so you can clearly understand them. And don't worry, I've put subtitles so you can hear them properly. Well, not hear them, but at least understand. But I really hope you can hear them properly. So, yeah.
Ok, la mocheté, tu ne peux plus m'échapper. Rends-toi et restaure l'espace-temps tout de suite.
Change de en position de demander quoi que ce soit. Espèce d'horrible cactus bleu.
Eggman, t'avais pas été kidnappé?
Il a été aidé.
Docteur Robotnik?
Plus personne ne m'appelle de cette façon. Aurais-tu l'obligeance de leur expliquer, monsieur le génial Dr. Eggman venu du futur? Ce sera pour moi un grand plaisir, monsieur le suprêmement efficace Dr. Eggman venu du passé. Peu après que Sonic a détruit mon parc d'attractions interstellaire, j'ai découvert une sombre essence primordiale. Celle-ci possédait des pouvoirs auxquels j'aspirais depuis longtemps. Notamment le pouvoir de voyager à travers le temps. J'ai donc décidé d'utiliser ces incroyables aptitudes pour changer le passé. Pour la perfectionner, j'avais besoin de l'aide d'une personne aussi intelligente que moi. Et le seul candidat possible, c'était moi. Oh, tu es trop aimable, mon cher double futur moi. Et ça fut un plaisir de t'aider. Et maintenant, le temps nous appartient. Nous pouvons faire ce que nous voulons.
Mais plus ton monstre crée des failles dans la ligne temporelle, plus tu la détruis.
Et alors, je vais anéantir cette ligne temporelle et la façonner selon mes désirs. Ah, et après je passe pour un excentrique. Personne ne nous jugera plus jamais une fois que nous aurons éliminé ces Sonic. Pour de bon. Alors on peut commencer, docteur. Tout à fait, mon cher docteur.
Tu espères me vaincre? Tu rêves, Eggman. Quand je suis seul, je te bats à chaque fois. Et là, je te signale qu'on est deux.
Alors j'aurai 2 fois plus de plaisir à vous anéantir. Ça ne sert à rien. Je vais quand même vous écrabouiller et vous réduire en purée. Hé hé. C'était juste pour vous ramollir un peu. Maintenant, l'heure est venue de vous dire adieu. T'es plus fort que ça. Allez. Vous.
Relève-toi. Tu n'as pas encore été vaincu.
Mais qui sont-ils? Ils n'ont aucune importance. Mais lui, la pâté, Sonic.
Concentre-toi.
On est avec toi. J'ai confiance en vous, monsieur Sonic. Sonic, tu peux le faire.
On est capable, Sonic.
Tu peux le vaincre, Sonic, comme tu l'as toujours fait.
Ces Eggman vont finir en omelette façon supersonique.
So, yeah, now that you heard the voices, you can tell in the comment what you think about them. But I think for the changes, I will say I'm gonna start with spin-offs, so it's gonna be easier. And after that, I'll talk more about the games. So, one of the changes that the French version of Sonic has compared to the English version is that one of the spin-off called Sonic X. In the Sonic X version in France, the French version of Sonic X is based off the Japanese version. Since 4Kid is an American children channel, so yeah, they didn't need to base it off that, so they just straight up did the Japanese version, but of course still had some small differences to censor a few things. And there's also in the spin-offs, there's the fact that in Sonic Prime, it's the game's voices, it's not new voices that Netflix chose, it's the game's voices. So yeah, since Prime is supposed to be canon, I do suppose it makes sense. Also, for those wondering for how long the cast of the French version has been doing their voices, they've been doing their voices since Sonic X, but only started doing for the game since Sonic Colors. So yeah, they've pretty much been doing it for over 20 years now, so yeah. And they did change a single voice, if I remember right. I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, there's also for the movies, I'm gonna put the Canadian version in this too, to show more how it should have been translated, because let's just say the movies were really butchered in translation. And for starters, Sonic's catchphrase, goddammit, in the movies is "gotta go fast," which is something associated with the characters in Sonic X. In French, it's supposed to be "faut aller vite," which is, faut aller means got to go, so gotta go, and vite, fast. In French, they decided to change it to il faut que je speed, which means I need to speed, which is just what? Like, I don't understand it. There's also a lot of small changes, like there was a translation error in Sonic X that stick for quite a while. It's for Shadow. In Sonic X, they accidentally translated Ultimate Life Form into the Supreme Life Form, L'être suprême, so the Supreme Being, which, yeah, I guess it kinda means the same thing, but it doesn't sound as great as the L'ultime forme de vie, which is how it should have been translated. So yeah. But thank God in more recent times they were able to get that right. There's also Sonic's name that they don't seem to be able to, for a while they weren't able to pick what they should do with it, because, Sonic the Hedgehog is kind of, Sonic's full name a little bit, let's say. That's how most versions of the franchise decides to do it. That Sonic the Hedgehog, it's Sonic's name. Well, in France, sometimes they don't know. Sometimes his name is just Sonic. Sometimes it's Sonic le Hérisson, which is the hedgehog, but translated. But other times, they decide to keep it not translated. Mainly in Canadian subtitles for Sonic games, we decide to not change the hedgehog part, because we're like, that's his name pretty much, so yeah, why change it? So yeah, there's that. There's also with the fact that in some version, I really don't know why, they say Knuckles' name with the K being really pronounced like Knuckles, which is just kind of weird. Like, why would you say Knuckles? Like, sometimes they get it right, sometimes they don't. So yeah, I really don't know. There's now let's get to more things that are in the game and not in general through spin-offs or sometimes in the game. They decided to translate Master Emerald, which in French should normally be Emerald Maître, but in France they decided to change it to Emerald Mère, Mother Emerald, or Emerald Mother. With how they decide to translate it, it should be more like that, which just sounds kind of off to me. Like, I don't know, it just sounds off. Like, why would you change it? There's also how they decided to gender a bit the things. Like, yeah, I know that's something French in general, but um, normally in French we say un emerald, but for the Chaos Emerald they decide to go with une Chaos Emerald, which goes from masculine to feminine, which sounds weird because why would you call an emerald un emerald, but for the Chaos Emerald, une Chaos Emerald? Like, I don't know, it's just another change I don't understand. There's also, if I remember right, there were some levels that their names were changed, but later on in other version they were not. I'm not exactly sure. But there's, for example, Space Colony Arc. In Sonic Adventure 2, it was just called L'Arc. So the Arc. But I think Space Colony Arc gives away more about what it's supposed to be. But in the French version, they were just like, meh. There's also the fact that in the French version, it's only with some game manual and some spin-off that Eggman is called Robotnik. Because in French, they actually, since they at first they based it more on the Japanese version before the full international translation for the games were made. Um, well, Eggman was almost all the time called Eggman in the French version. It's only with the Sonic Adventures that it got introduced to the name Ivo Robotnik. So yeah, I think it's kind of weird of a change, but at the same time, changes of person that does the scripting and translations. I do suppose it makes sense that there will be some changes. So yeah, there's also the fact that there's tales that in the original French version of Sonic 2, if I remember right, or well, I remember there's a version of Sonic 2 that in the French version, Tails is just called Tails. It's not Miles Tails Prower, which is kind of weird. Like, yes, Miles Prower is kind of a dumb name, especially if you had Tails in the middle, like Miles Tails Prower, but it's still his full name. So there's also another change that they made in the games. It's the fact that they decided to try to translate somewhat some of Sonic moves. Like, for example, in Sonic Generation, the spin dash is called Course Tourbillon, which would literally mean cyclone run. Like, what? I'm gonna be honest, that doesn't sound really close. There's also the drop dash, if I remember right. Yes, the drop dash was in Frontiers is called départ rapide, so quick start, which is just Wido. And that's if I remember right. I did my research throughout the week, but I forgot my sheet of notes, so yes, I won't lie, I forgot a few things. Normally I was just supposed to show a cutscene and then have my note in front of me while I'm playing, but I forgot my note sheet. I'm a dumbass, like always. But yeah, well, there's also, if I remember right, there was, oh yeah, in the Sonic CD, in the French guide, they weren't sure if they were gonna go with the English version or not, because in some copies you have Amy like it's supposed to, but in others there's Sally mentioned like the English version of the guide was printed as back in the day, because Sega of America really loves to put a big old middle finger to Sega Japan, so yep. There's also, if I remember right, in Sonic Lost World. Oh wait, I just realized I already did that little. Whatever. Sonic says Tails. No, not to Tails, but after Tails gets captured, that he's supposed, like normally in the English version and same for the Japanese version, he says, "I'm supposed to be the fastest thing alive," and I could say my friend. But Sonic in the French version says, "Je suis censé être rapide. Pourquoi je l'ai pas sauvé?" So I'm supposed to be fast. Why didn't I save him? So he literally says as if he intentionally did not save him, which is just like, bro, you tried, but I guess you did not try your hardest. I mean, it kind of feels off as a translation. And there's also in Sonic Forces, they decided to translate a lot of levels. Like for example, the level Green Hill with classic Sonic, it's called Green Hill Colline Verte, which Green Hill means colline. Well, in French is Colline Verte. But why would you translate one but not the other? Like, come on. So yeah, there's also, if I remember right, oh yes, there's the way they spell, more the way they say some names. Like, for example, for both Chaos and Chaos, they say cow. They don't pronounce the S, no matter if it's plural or not, but they say cow. But the thing is, it's also for chows, so they're pretty much the same. Thank God, for some reason, Forces fixed that, and Sonic says chaos, chaos in French, like trying to sound kind of English, but doesn't work. So yeah, it was somewhat of a short video. Why did I say it in plural? Short video about some changes in a between English and a French version of Sonic. I hope you liked the video, and I'll see you next time.